Hello, my name is Gemma. What is your name?
My name is Upasna.
Hi, Upasana. Nice to meet you. And where are
Nice
you
to meet
from?
you. Yes,
Where are you from?
I'm from India.
Amazing.
So
I
have
have
you been here?
I haven't. I've been to Sri Lanka.
Okay,
I would love to go to India. It's
surely you should. You should.
where in India are you from?
I'm from Delhi.
Delhi, nice.
From Madhya Pradesh, but I live in Delhi.
So you're from where? Sorry?
I'm
Bangladesh.
from Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh.
Oh, amazing. So are you new to Cambly or do you how long have you been learning English?
Actually, I'm also an English trainer here in India, and I also teach students online here. Yes. So
Amazing.
yes, so I just want to learn something new from you, some kind of effective or advanced phrasal verbs kind of things.
Yeah, it's okay. So, what is there a certain any subjects, the sort of areas that you want to learn the phrasal verbs in? Sort of any subjects?
Whatever you think, because whatever you think or what are often used by you. So you can teach me those phrases.
Okay, I will just pull up something that I actually use sometimes. Um, but yeah, okay. So I sometimes use this like in problem solving these sort of verbs or dealing with disagreements or things like that. I just pull it up 1 second.
Sure.
My computer's deciding to be a little bit slow all of a sudden.
Okay.
So
And
you're an English trainer.
yes, I'm
So that's amazing. So you teach people in India English.
yes, I teach English online. I teach. I have my YouTube channel as well.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Okay, I'll have to try and find you.
Okay. Yeah, surely you should. You can.
Nice. Okay, so let me.
So till the time you are going to teach me phrasal verbs, can I ask you some more questions?
Yeah, of course, go for it.
Okay, so a lot of people like whatever the what are the suggestions that you give to the person who is new to learn English language?
Well, first of all, it depends. Are they beginner, intermediate, advanced? I sort of, first of all, just like to sort of, yeah, figure out what sort of level they're at.
Okay,
And then it sort of depends. It's more about sort of just like building their vocabulary, and it can start. Yeah, depends what level they're at, and we just sort of start with building vocabulary, and I normally start with a game, just to start talking and learning about them, because then I know what areas interest them and
because
where to start building the vocabulary.
because when someone is intermediate level or advanced level, then they are like it's very easy for them to improve their English. But when someone is a beginner, so how should we start learning English if we are a beginner?
I normally start with beginner games. Like I said, like it just I these sort of games I can get up here as well. Just like categories, things like we say colours, and then we start taking turns to name colours, or animals. Then we start taking turns to, and we slowly build it up from there. Um, and that's how I normally begin, really, and then just sort of basic verbs like the verb to be, and
That's
I am running, I am swimming, he is, she is, you are, and I know I would literally start with things as basic as that.
but thing is when we have a speaking partner, then it's very easy for us to practice English. But when we are alone, so how should we practice that time if we don't have a
You,
partner?
YouTube is a really good one. YouTube, podcasts, there are apps available now as well, like Duolingo. Um, there's Duolingo and there's Mesmerize, which are really good.
Okay.
And they're basically, yeah, made for complete beginners. And Memrise has videos of native speakers saying the words, and then like quizzes. So it'd be like, yeah, sorry,
And a
go
lot of
ahead.
people say like how to get accent like foreigners. So do you think it's important for us to get the accent, or like if since we are Indians, so we have different accents. So does it work, or do we need to copy the foreigners for speaking in English for their accent?
Um, the Indian quite difficult to understand at points. Like I even struggle because it's strong, you know. So I think it's more just making pronouncing the word, and the speed, I think, is the sometimes the issue I find personally with Indian accents. So just I think it's not necessarily neutralizing your accent or trying to copy a foreigner,
Yeah.
but just keeping the pace slower. I think ensuring that the pace is slower, and maybe just trying to elongate the words and pronounce them a little bit slower.
Okay.
Um,
And I think you are facing some kind of internet issue because I was not able to see you properly in the in between.
oh no, that's not ideal. I'm not too sure. My
No, now
internet
it's fine.
is
Now it's fine.
all good, all good. Is this your background that you have for work?
Yes, yes. I just conduct my online classes here.
Wow, I was thinking it looks so creative.
Yes, so I have
I,
written my name over here like Upasna Sharma, Learn English with Upasna this way.
Nice, perfect. I'd love to. And how's the YouTube thing going?
It's
You
going
doing
good.
that?
Like I started 2 months back and it's going really well.
Nice. I debate doing something similar. I think that everything is moving online nowadays. And like you were saying with the beginner,
Yeah,
I think having more video platforms for beginners
and it's
who,
the time of coronavirus as well. So the pandemic is going on. So I think if we are doing something online, then it's quite good for us.
yeah, definitely. And I think it opens up English to a lot more people as well, because people who can't maybe afford things like subscriptions to services like
Okay.
Cambly,
Okay.
they can use YouTube.
So you were supposed to teach me the phrasal verbs.
Yeah. Okay. So, these are to do with sort of conflict, or like resolving arguments.
Okay.
So I use these quite a lot. So move on. Well, like, let's just move on. It means change the subject or sort of stop the conflict. We're going to move on now.
Okay.
You can also use move on when you've listed things that you're doing and you're going to move on to the next. So it's like move. Yeah, it can be just basically means progressing. The next one is work through. So if you want to work through problems, you want to work through any obstacles that you might find. So that's quite a good one, I find. You work through any tasks that you're finding quite difficult. The next one is go against.
Sorry, what is one?
Go against. I will also type these out in the chat box for you.
Yeah.
So this one, work through, and then this one is go against. So when you go against something, you're disagreeing with it. Essentially, you're going for the opposite opinion. So you can go against what your manager thinks, or go against your friend's view on the film we're going to go and see. So yeah, go against. Next one is fall out. That's quite a common phrasal verb for when you disagree with someone. Again, you have a fallout with them, so you can fall out with your friend, have an argument, have a squabble is a quite a nice a slang term there, or squabble.
Okay.
So yeah, fall out.
Travel.
Yeah, squabble. And clash with. So clash with, again, is to do with when you're having two people are talking, their ideas might clash. So, or if you might clash with that person on your opinion on top movies of all time. So yeah, clash with is a good one. And then get on. So you're like, oh, I get on with Sarah. She is really good on my team. It means you have a good relationship with Sarah. You can work well with Sarah. You get on. You progress. So yeah, they're I think quite useful sayings, and they're often thrown around a lot in sort of work and school as well, because you're obviously often dealing with people, and so I think they're quite useful for people to know, just to deal with all sorts of social situations. Really.
It's like how do we learn phrasal verbs if we don't have what is a great platform to learn the phrasal verb?
That is a good question, because I've been thinking doing the same thing. I use quite a few websites. So I can send you some if you want. Would that be
Yeah, you can.
useful? Yeah. I will send you.
And how do we get in the habit of using the phrasal verbs? So since we, like most of us, we speak the basic English. So what is the difference between basic English and the advanced one? What are the things that we need to take care of while speaking the advanced English?
I
And
think
what is
it.
the actual?
I think it is the phrasal verbs, the idioms.
Okay.
Like the slang terms. In England, we have lots of weird little phrases, especially like water under the bridge or push the boat out. It means I'm going to push the boat out. I'm going to do something a little bit adventurous. So it's learning, the slang and the idioms. I think, and the phrasal verbs, and
But
unfortunately, there are. I think there are over like 14,000 phrasal verbs. So it's impossible to remember all of them. There are so many because there's something I have looked up. I'm like,
a
how to
lot of people.
yes,
Mhm.
sorry.
A lot of people say that when we are using idioms, phrasal verbs, so we sound a bit informal. So
Mm.
do you think it is so?
Um, it depends. It depends if on the context. If you were in an interview, like say you were going to like a really professional interview, or say you're in court, or you're
Hmm.
in an environment, maybe you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I've fallen out with her, because it would sound informal. But when
Really
you're
true.
in maybe an office environment, even though it is a formal like situation, you can get away with it to an extent. It's kind of judging it. And I think it's judging it for yourself. You like whether you speak English or not. You analyze the situation, whatever and decide whether it's appropriate really to really.
I think so. I think when we are speaking in English, that time using the idioms and phrases are good, but when we are doing written communication, that time we shouldn't use.
No, yeah, written communication, no, and really formal situations, I don't think. Cut it out a little bit, but it's not gonna. It's not going to be really hard. It's going to depend. Like fall out and clash with, I think, are informal phrasal verbs. But things like
Yes.
work, move on, and work through, they're not informal. So again,
Okay.
it's judging. There are some that are informal phrasal verbs, and there are more formal, not formal, but more acceptable phrasal verbs that if you used in a meeting, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Okay, and what tips would you like to give someone who is just new to learn English language? Because sometimes people get very demotivated as well when they are seeing no result after practicing a lot. So what tips would you like to give?
What tips I like to give to people who are not seeing any results? Keep going and have belief in yourself, and also be consistent with your learning. Learn in all different ways. Listen to music, listen to podcasts, watch videos on YouTube. Also if you can practice talking, read. So I think that repetition is so important, and just keep pushing through with all different things and all different
So
ones.
a lot of people struggle with grammar a lot of times. So do you think what is the best way to remember the or to learn the grammar?
Again, there are so many rules. There are hundreds and hundreds of rules, so you can't learn them all. But again, you've just got to, if you make a mistake, keep pulling yourself back on it. If you realise there's one area, one grammar rule that you're struggling with, every time you make that mistake, correct yourself and just keep.
So how do we evaluate ourselves that time? Like, are we making mistake or are we speaking right or not?
Mm,
How do we evaluate?
I'm not too sure, to be honest, on that one. We've only got a minute left. I really enjoyed speaking to you. I don't want to be on any YouTube channels or anything. I hope so, but yeah, I loved speaking to you, and I hope I've helped you in some way.
Okay, but a lot of people are there. They just try to remember the vocabulary words. So they do a mistake that they write down all the vocabulary words in their notebook, but they don't get a chance to use those vocabulary words. So how do we remember it for a long time?
I'm not too sure. I've also got to go. I'm really sorry. My other reservation's calling me. So I've got to answer this call. But it was lovely to speak to you, and I'll speak to you again maybe.
Okay, bye
Bye.
bye. Take care.